Hello everyone, and welcome to Michael's Richard Game Reviews, and this week I'm reviewing Daikatana for the N64. Now, I have talked a bit about this game before in my Hero or Villain feature on John Romero, and I think I was a little bit unfair in the game. I've not even played the game before, so for this review I'm going to play Daikatana for the N64, and I will give you my complete honest opinion about it. So, let's get on with the review. So, the history. Well, John Romero came off of Quake feeling very unhappy. I get the feeling he and the team he was working with had a great deal of freedom in the beginning. But after the success of Doom, it changed and became more corporate in the way they made future games. So, for someone like John Romero, I guess you could say the party was over for him at id, and that's why he pretty much left and formed Ironstorm. Once at Ironstorm, he set to work on creating Daikatana. The development team on Daikatana was new to making video games. Most of them had made mods but never worked on making a video game from scratch. And the fact is, Ironstorm was a new company that was hiring people left, right and centre and wasting a lot of money on things like having an arcade in the office, having a huge mock-up of the company logo at reception. I imagine this is probably a great fun company to work for, but didn't lead much success for Ironstorm. But back to Daikatana. During the development, they saw a prototype of the Quake 2 engine, and while it kinda made theirs look stupid, I'm not sure if they were using the Quake 1 engine or their own in-house game engine. They were left with pretty much two choices: either continue developing the game as it is, knowing full well that when the game came out it'd be pretty much out of date, or keep developing content for the game and wait for the Quake 2 engine to come out and then just simply swap engines out. But as it turned out, it wasn't as simple as that. The process of switching engines was only meant to take a few weeks, but in the end it took over a year to do. Another fact that didn't help was the development team walked out halfway through making Daikatana. All these factors are the reason why the game was delayed so many times and ended up taking over 3 years to make. So, the graphics. Well, this is the N64, so blurry graphics are to be expected. But in this game they are abnormally blurry, and to top it off you got loads of fogging too. Them two together really give this game an ugly look. Okay, I admit the PC version does look a lot better than the N64 one, but if you look close at the PC version, the textures in it are of a very high resolution, but the polygon count is low. Now that is very strange, but I do have a theory for why this is. The game was delayed so many times that in the end the game took over 3 years to make. The game was meant to come out in '97, and I imagine they developed the game to run on the average computer for the time in '97. So when it did come out in 2000, I guess the average PC spec had gone up. So I imagine they just upped the resolution and quality of the textures in the game, hoping people would not notice the game had a lower polygon count than most for its time. Back to the N64 version, and yes, before you ask, the polygon count in the N64 one was just as bad. Where you notice this the most on the N64 version is on the wireframe of the playable, and even more noticeable on the non-playable characters. It's not too bad on the levels, but anywhere where there's any detail or a non-playable character, and it really just shows no sense of realism at all. And this was a game released on the N64 in 2000. I did expect a little bit more than this. Maybe I'm just being fussy, but if you look at games like Perfect Dark, GoldenEye, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64, Mario Kart, Lilac Wars, and so on and so on, I could go on all day listing games on the N64 that look far better than this one. And so the music. It's repetitive, that's all I can really say about it. Just simply short pieces of music on an endless loop. I know there isn't much memory on an N64 cartridge, but even still, that doesn't stop most games on the N64 from having decent music. Just look at Wipeout 64, that game had near CD quality music tracks in it. If space is the problem, just use MIDI music. That kind of music uses next to no memory. And so, onto the gameplay. It's nothing special. At worst, it's an average first-person shooter for its time. but I do get the feeling John Romero was trying something new, but it was just poorly executed. This was meant to be a first-person shooter slash RPG, kind of, but it didn't turn out that way. Your character does level up, and his stats are displayed on the screen, and each time you level up you gain another bar on one of your character's stats. But to be honest, I never noticed the effect it had on my character whenever I leveled up. But there is something cool about the game though. It's got loads of weapons. Yay! So, my final thoughts. Is it wrong to ban with a game you never played before? Yes it is, but when it's Daikatana and not a single person has a good thing to say about this game, can you really blame them? I definitely give this game my thumbs down. With all the great modern or even retro classics out there, why would you waste your time with this? So I want to thank you for watching, and until next week, see you later.